date. I have some experience with the questions and concerns that you'll have, so at any time during the conversation, feel free to just chime in. Raise your hand if you want to, but you don't have to. I'm basically just going to run through a list of bullet points. We're going to discuss metabolism, weight loss, how to maintain or improve your metabolism, which is only going to help us to reach our weight loss goals. That's really one of the big topics for tonight. It's kind of a timely topic, I think, with New Year's and a lot of folks sort of reevaluating their goals and setting new goals. So we'll go through that. We'll go through metabolism. We'll go through weight loss. Other topics that we want to cover tonight are myth busting. So we'll go through quite a few myths. We'll discuss them. We'll discuss, a lot of myths have some root in truth, oftentimes. So we may kind of differentiate between what's fact and what's fiction, and hopefully answering any questions you have there. Certainly, if there are myths that you have heard about, methods, strategies that you've considered using, you have questions about them, about the validity or the accuracy of those, certainly we'll try and cover those as best we can. Hopefully between Ryan and I, we may have.
I can Google
Yes.
too.
So I was going to Google, I guess, if all else failed. Then we'll discuss some training strategies, how to maybe get a little bit more bang for your buck for the time that you spend training specifically with cardio, but also with some weight training. So, any questions before we start? No? Okay. Well, when it comes to weight loss, you hear a lot of things. You hear, sometimes it sounds a little oversimplified, that it's just calories in and calories out. And as frustrating as it can be, I'm here to tell you that that's true. It's calories in versus calories out. It's a bank account, basically. You've got, we've all got our safes that where we store our extra calories. And if you have more calories coming in than you're actually burning, those calories have to go somewhere. And they often go to our trouble spots. Problem with that is that it maybe oversimplifies it or makes it sound too simple. Because we do have a lot of control over the calories out, not just in the amount of exercise that we do, not just in what we eat. So we'll discuss how to improve metabolism here in a little bit. But before we do that, I want to cover the calories inside. How many calories are we putting into our body? Everybody's going to have different needs. And as far as how many calories you as an individual should be eating, that's really something that needs to be discussed on an individual basis. You need to go over height, weight, even body composition should be taken into consideration on that, gender, age. All of that is going to determine your own calorie requirements. So whether you're talking about it with your trainer, medical professional, doctor, dietitian, you do want to get a calorie recommendation that's specific to you. Certain facilities, medical facilities, fitness facilities will have metabolic testing and monitoring. That is something you can use. It's not always 100% right on the money accurate, and when you're talking about making a difference of several hundred calories a day, whether or not you know your exact metabolism within 20 or 30 calories, to me is kind of irrelevant. But sometimes if you have any metabolic condition, hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, it's certainly going to affect that number. It might be kind of a surprising number, so it might be worth getting looked into if you've had some significant trouble in the past, either losing weight or gaining weight, or basically changing your body composition. So maybe worth looking into. Once you know how many calories that you should be eating or want to be eating to achieve your goal, the next step is accurately monitoring those calories. And that's, I think, the hardest part. So I'm assuming just about everybody at some point has either tried to gain weight or lose weight. In your efforts to gain weight or lose weight, have you ever kept a dietary journal, kept an intake log? Okay. Well, that's step number one. You have to do that. You have, if you have a checking account, you don't keep tracking your checking account what you have spent and what you haven't spent, what you've deposited, what you've withdrawn. You're never going to have an accurate assessment or knowledge of where you're at. So first things first, you have to write it down. You have to do some sort of system of either label reading, accounting for calories, grams of fat, servings of protein, starches, X, Y, and Z. You have to have a system. You have to at least have a program or method knowing, or a way to measure or monitor how much you're putting in your body. It has to be accurate. So no fluff in the numbers, no, well, it's only 20 or 30 calories. That doesn't make a huge difference. There's 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. What's 15 calories? It's that on a daily basis, 2 or 3 times a day, that over the course of a month can add up to a pound gained or a pound lost. So it's really, really important to have the mindset that you have to be accurate, you have to be on. I think if you're not, you set yourself up to not running a very tight ship. There's a lot of room for error. So that doesn't mean that you always 100% of the time have to be so hard on yourself. If anything, it gives you more room to wiggle, so long as you account accurately for those